Okay, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are listening from. It is right now exactly 10 a.m. in Brazil, and it is 2 p.m. in Central European time. So we shall start our ENRICH webinar for this morning. So a warm welcome to all our participants. It will be a pleasure to have you together with us, and a warm welcome to our two guests this morning here in Brazil, this afternoon in Europe, Mr. Felipe Sanchez Couto, who is from the Federation of Industry of the state of Paraná in Brazil, and Mr. Alco Gistra Neto, who is a new business coordinator of Frisia, one of the largest agrobusiness cooperative in Brazil. Our two very special guests who will introduce us to a very nice challenge, startup challenge for digitalization in agrobusiness, Agro 4.0. So a very nice morning we'll have with them. So I'm gonna start right now with a few information on how our webinar is going to work. So I would like to say that all you participants have your microphone turned off, so the participants cannot use their microphone to speak. If you have any question, you can use the chat or the question session down to your toolbox of this webinar. Put your question. You can ask your question anytime, but we'll have a moment at the end of the webinar to collect the question and make the question to our two speakers of this morning. One more important information, I would like to inform that this webinar will be recorded. So everything will be recorded and will be available online at ENRICH website once this webinar is over. Also, would like to say that all the presentation will be also available at the ENRICH website. So if you need to have access to any further information afterwards, please feel free to go directly to ENRICH. So I'm going to make a very short introduction on what is ENRICH, just to introduce everybody to our association. Then afterwards, I will hand over to Philippe Couto, who is the head of innovation and corporate acceleration program at the Federation of Industry. He will explain a little bit what the Federation of Industry in Brazil is doing for bringing together startups and corporate for innovation. And then we will listen to Alco, who is going to present us the Digital Agro Connection Challenge of Frisia. So a very few words on ENRICH in Brazil. ENRICH in Brazil is actually a center of innovation that has the main purpose of bringing together Europe and Brazil for science, technology, innovation, and business. We have a very pragmatic approach, and we work as a platform in order to foster innovation, in order to foster innovative solution between Europe and Brazil. We bring together world-class partner, public institution, private sector, universities, startup, investors, so that we can make innovation happen pragmatically together. We connect the key players and the innovators in Europe and Brazil. We are a solution also for funding and matchmaking. This is a little bit of what we're going to do this morning, to matchmake between the needs of the company and the innovation proposals of startups. And we are a strategic partner for the market entrant, both in Brazil and in the European Union. We bring together the state of art of policies, research, and business for matchmaking and innovation. I would like to present you also this very short map in order to let you know that we are very well represented both in Brazil and in Europe. We have plenty of partners, funding members. We have our own soft landing hubs, both in Brazil and in Europe. So if you're a startup, you want to find a place for you to start business in Europe or in Brazil, we have our own soft landing hubs. We are connected to universities, research centers, of course, businesses and investors. So we are really a platform for making innovation happen between Brazil and Europe. In terms of the key area that we offer to our associated member, we offer executive education and training. We network between decision makers and whoever needs innovation between Brazil and Europe. We are a solution also for funding and matchmaking, as we said before. And finally, we are a bench of soft landing hub that allows you to start your business both in Europe and in Brazil. So that's basically it for me in terms of short introduction of what it is ENRICH in Brazil. We are a connection point for science, technology, business, and innovation. Once again, I would like to welcome Philippe Couto and Aoki, and I would like to give the floor right now to Philippe Couto, who is going to introduce us to this matchmaking platform that the Federation of Industry has in order to bring together the startups and the corporate. So Philippe Couto, welcome again. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Felipe. Thank you all for participating with us. Thank you, everyone that is following this webinar. For us, it's so important to give some good news from Brazil, and also some good opportunity to make business. This is what we need to do right now in this time of crisis. We think that the best response is to act safely and safety to provide more health for everyone. So I want to just share a few words with you. We are helping Frisia in this challenge. We are acting right now as a consultancy group that are supporting them to connect with those startups all over the Brazil and also in Europe. We have this kind of work with different companies here in Brazil, multinational companies also, because we represent more than 50,000 industry in Paraná. So Paraná is the state of South region in Brazil, and we work to bridge and connect the startups and corporations because we believe that we can deliver more for those companies to be more productive and be more to have better results in the market. So that's why we are working with Frisia. And right now, I just want to share with you that we also have this soft lending hub that can provide you access to the market for Brazilian market, for the south of Brazil market also, and we have other companies from all over the world, so we can assist you if you decide to come to Brazil. Specifically, in my last words, is to show you how big is the market here in Brazil. Just want to show you two data. The first one is that the agribusiness here in the south of Brazil, the major part of the market is done by the cooperatives. So they have more than 16 billion of revenues. So it's a huge market. And Paraná is the third state in Brazil in terms of exports. So once you come to Paraná, once you start doing business with Frisia, we hope so. It's the best opportunity to access the Brazilian market. As you might know, we are very strong in the agribusiness sector. So I just want to thank you, Felipe, for the time. Thank you, ENRICH. Thank you all for participating with us in this journey. We know that connecting startups and corporations, we have a lot of work to do, and that's why that we are here. That's why we are working for, and we expect that all the companies, all the startups from Europe that aims to participate, they will be very well supported and very well welcome because we strongly believe that making connections inside of Brazil, outside of Brazil, we will be able to deliver more value to the market. So thank you once again so much. And Felipe, that's it.
Thank you, Philip, for joining us this morning. Thank you for your words and for presenting the soft lending hub that is available for entering the Brazilian market. Now I would like to hand over to Alco, who is the new business coordinator of Frisia and will introduce us this morning to the Frisia Agro Connection Challenge. Once again, Alco, welcome, and the floor is yours. You need to switch on your microphone, Alco. We cannot hear you right now. You need to switch on your microphone.
So once more, thank you very much for the nice introduction. Thank you, everyone who is attending to this webinar. So my goal today is to present you to Frisia, this cooperative which I work, and also to present our digital agro connection program, which is connecting startups from Brazil and also worldwide to Frisia. So first I will explain who is Frisia, and then I will head into our innovation program and talk about digital agro. So Frisia is a 95-year-old cooperative, which has 850 members and more than 1,000 employees. We are the second oldest cooperative in Brazil. We work in the following segments: in dairy farming business, pig farming business, agriculture, and forest. And we provide our associates with a full service. So we provide them with technical assistance, with logistics, with centralized purchasing of products, with warehousing, with commercialization, with marketing of their products. We have our own stores. So actually it's a 360 degrees service from plantation, from seeds till the commercialization of the product. We also have our own R&D development and technology testing area, which is called ABC Foundation. This is where we test and develop new technologies. We are especially focused on this R&D in testing different chemicals and different varieties of crops. We have 4 testing fields, and we have more than 450,000 hectares where we can test our products. So we have our R&D center, but we noticed that it's not enough. We need to have our own innovation program. That's why we decided to start this year with what we call, sorry, can you see? With what we called Digital Agro. And Digital Agro has 4 different arms. The first arm is the Digital Agro Trade Show, which is an event. Next year we will have the 5th edition. It's going to happen in Curitiba, the capital of Paraná. And this trade show is actually bringing together producers, farmers, and new technology, and a lot of new content about innovation in the agriculture and the agribusiness. It's focused on agriculture, but also on the farming sector. The second initiative, it's called Digital Agro Connection, which I'm going to explain more about later on. It's our open innovation program for startups, where we try to connect Frisia to the ecosystem of innovation. The third one is Digital Agro News. It's a recently launched platform where we put novelties about technology, about agriculture in Brazil and worldwide. And the fourth one is called Digital Agro Ideas. This is a platform where we manage innovative and new ideas for the agriculture and also for the dairy and pig farming sector. Okay, down here you can see our website, so you can check it. It's still not available in English, but we are working on that. What are our goals with the Digital Agro and the innovation program? First, to promote and grow the innovation culture within our associates and workers, because we understand that without this culture, we are not able to develop any kind of innovation. The second one is to approach and connect the cooperative to the innovation ecosystem, to generate, to develop, and accelerate innovative ideas, and to enable our associates to invest in innovation. The last one is our future goal. We want, in the end, to have innovation as a basis of revenue generation. So this is how we see innovation in the future. Some major trends about Brazil. First one, I guess you know, Brazil is the world's greenhouse. We are market leaders in corn, in soy, corn, coffee, orange juice, chicken, and a lot of other agricultural produce. And in Brazil, we notice several trends. I put here down 7 main trends, which is actually changing the way we are looking into our future. First, sustained low commodity prices. We are year by year having lower prices for commodity, which force the second trend. We need to improve constantly our yields and reduce the costs of producing commodity. This is our main mission as a cooperative, is to feed and to produce food. But we know that we need to be efficient, we need to be effective, because If not, we will not be able to compete in the world market. The third one is a focus on sustainability. This focus is in several different segments. We need to be sustainable when we talk about our earth, about how we manage the soil, about how we manage the water, how we manage the energy, focus on using renewable energy sources. The fourth one is the arrival of agtechs. This is a major trend, and the agtechs are bringing different perspectives, different technologies to our markets, and actually they are solving several different let's say challenges in the agricultural business. The fifth one is the clean label shift, which means more and more millennials and consumers, they want to use products which have non-GMO label or organic label or product without any conservatives. So we notice also this trend worldwide, but also in Brazilian market. The sixth one is the evolving demand of protein is growing year by year. That's why our soy bean production grows so much in Brazil, because there is a huge demand for protein, especially from China. But with this demand of protein, we notice also that there are some new variations of protein. So we have right now laboratories protein being produced, synthetic protein, and new sources of protein just to fulfill this demand, which is growing year by year. And the last one is the consolidation in the industry. In the chemical sector for the agriculture, we see that it's already dominated by the three main companies. Also in the fertilizer sectors, also it's dominated by some big industries. So we notice that the segment is consolidating, and there is not so much space for small business anymore. You need to be efficient, you need to be competitive. Otherwise, some big group or some big holding is going to dominate your market. Okay. Do you see my screen?
We can see you and hear you well.
Yes.
Okay. Had some strange message in my. Okay, here we go. So the next slide is about our open innovation program, which I want to present to you today. It's called Digital Agro Connection. It's an open innovation program which connects Frisia to innovative solutions in the innovation ecosystem. And we are looking into opportunities to join and to connect to agtechs, to startups, which can help us to alleviate and to fulfill some of the trends I showed you in the last slide. For this year, we are mainly looking into two themes, which is called one of them is sustainable farming. We're looking into solutions and technologies and startups which can improve the way we are producing food, the way we are commercializing food, the way we are producing energy, and the way the whole agro chain is connected. And we are looking especially for solutions which will make the whole process more sustainable. That means using less resources, improving yield of the soil, and so on. The second theme that we are looking for solutions this year, because we are going to do this open innovation program several years. The second one is agroindustry 4.0. We have our plans of meat and wheat processing, and we have also several plans of grain storage. And what we are looking is for opportunities to improve the process, the efficiency on those plants. Here we are talking about IoT, big data, machine learning, sometimes sensors, and so on. So different kinds of technologies and sources that can improve the efficiency in our plants. So what we are offering for the participants, first we are offering a free stand on the event in 2021, Digital Agro. So it's an opportunity for you to show your startup and your company in this event. We are offering 10 hours of technical and business mentoring. So you will learn a lot about the Brazilian market, the technical aspects, the business aspects about how to trade in Brazil and how the agro market and the agricultural market is behaves in Brazil in general. So we will have technical mentoring from FIEP, but also technical mentoring from our team from Frisia. We are sponsoring the proof of concepts in our cooperative and in our industry, so we can actually sponsor the technology implementation and the testing here in Brazil. And the last one, but I think the most important, is the opportunity to connect and make business with one of the biggest cooperatives in Brazil and with the Union. Union is a group of 3 cooperatives which Frisia is part of. So we are going to present this proof of concept to Union. And just for you to have an idea about Union has produced more than 3.4 million liters of milk per day and processes 135 tons of pork meat yearly, and it's composed by 5,000 associates. So if you are selected to do your proof of concept with us, you do it, we are going to give you the opportunity to present this proof of concept to the Union group. Okay, how it works. So we are with open registrations till 22 of June. So 2 more weeks, more or less. After the registrations, we are going through the hunting process where we are going to pre-select 12 startups. We are going to talk and meet with those startups to present Frisia and give them an immersion about Frisia processes, Frisia's main products. After this immersion, you have the opportunity to present to us how you would like to cooperate with us and how would you like to test your concept with us. After you present this, we are going to select 6 from out of the 12 startups to work together and to sponsor the proof of concept implementation. Okay. Then we will have the next process, which we are going to test you will have the opportunity to do your proof of concept, and finally in November you have the presentation of the proof of concept to our board of directors and to Union. Of course, if the proof of concept is successful, this means we'll very probably start working in a regular basis and cooperating with your startup. Also, what can happen is that you have a technology, but it's not 100% aligned to what we need. We can also co-create or develop something together to meet our requirements. This will depend, of course, on the matching of what you have and what we need. So you can register your startup through this email, connection@digitalagro.com.br, with the following details below. We are going to share this presentation with you, so you just need to put the name of the startup, the name of the owner or the representative of the startup, photo of your passport or ID, your email details, the segment which your startup is acting on, which team out of the 2 teams you are going to work on. If you have a website, you can put here the website of your startup, and you can attach to the email a presentation, a pitch, or you can just put a link or on WeTransfer or something like this, OneDrive, where we can download the materials and know more about your startup. Here we have the criteria of selection, so how we are going to select the startups to work with Frisia. First one is the alignment to the team. Second one is the potential financial result out of the solution, the qualitative result, the investment costs, the risks, scalability, implementation speed, technical capacity of the team, and finally the complexity of the implementation of the solution. So this is our selection criteria for you to work with us. So we really encourage your startup to connect with us because we are really willing and open to work with international companies. We have in Frisia, you have this opportunity to work with, to have your proof of concept sponsored, but also we have an investment fund which we have, and we want to reserve some of this fund this year for innovation purpose. So we are open and we are willing to know more about the solutions your company can present to us. So basically, this is the presentation that I prepared for you guys today. And right now, I will pass the word back to Felipe. And of course, I'm open for any kind of questions that you may have.
Very nice. Thank you for a great presentation. Very interesting. A very big opportunity for all the innovators, startups, technology, for fostering what is really important and matters, that is feeding people, right? And with feeding people, we are talking about health, we are talking about development. So it's really a wonderful opportunity, and congratulations once again to Frisia for opening, the innovation process to all stakeholders all around the world. So we have some questions that I've received here. I'm going to start with this question, and just remember to all participants that they can ask their question on the question part of the tools, right, of the webinar, or they can use also the chat that you can see also down the tools. But let's start with the question. Here's a first question about open data. Is there any kind of open data that Frisia will provide for startups to study a little bit and make their proposal? Do you have any kind of tools that would allow people to see a little more on the data of Frisia?
We don't have the open data itself. What we are going to do is like this. On the pre-selection, when we select the 12 startups, first we are going to look into the whole solutions and to see if it has a match. Then we are going to choose 12, and we are going to give those 12 startups an immersion into our, let's say, problematics, into our industry, and how we work. So, for instance, if you have a solution for dairy farming sector, we are going to present you in details our dairy segment, how we work, what is our business model, and if you need some special data, of course, we can provide it. But this is how we would like to do the process. So we are not making the data available right now, but on a second stage, if we see that there is a match, we are going to give you this detail so that you can prepare your presentation and your proof of concept idea with us.
Right, we have a second question here from Chiara Davalli, who is thanking you and congratulating you for the presentation, and is asking about the circumstances of this year. We are under a certain bench of travel restriction due to COVID-19, right? So the question would be, how could European companies participate, attend the challenge this year, taking into account the limited possibility of traveling?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is true. We are in a very uncertain period. I think, especially in Brazil right now, we still don't know if we reach the top.
Oops, I think we had a
cannot hear you anymore. Yeah.
But maybe I can go ahead until Walk is back.
Yeah, we'll go ahead with the answer.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for...
We can...
COVID still is very high and the borders are closed in this period.
Sorry, Alki, we had a connection problem. If you please go back a little bit.
We have not listened.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Okay, so we know that we are in a very uncertain period right now, especially in Brazil. We actually put the proof of concept implementation in September, October, but honestly saying, we don't know exactly where we will be there and which situation we will have there. If the borders will still be closed and we will have still a lot of cases of COVID in Brazil, we will have to postpone this implementation of the proof of concept in Brazil. but still, what we can do in the meantime and through audiovisual technologies, we can do the whole process of immersion into our business model. You can present your proof of concept. We can do the let's say the first alignments, and we will postpone the coming of the company here to Brazil until we know the situation is safe.
Okay. And just
okay,
say a little bit more words.
Yes.
Sorry, Philippe. I just want to complement with we are learning to do this kind of connection virtually. So it's very important to us to test this model. So if we see once the startup goes to the immersion process, and then we can safely, in terms of data connection, provide this access to the data lake, and the startup doesn't have any hardware to install, etc. Maybe we can run the walk virtually. So I think the main message from Alco here is we go ahead, we go through the program, and we are monitoring the situation. Of course, every step we'll take safely, and we will very aware of our condition here, and we won't put anyone in risk for this during this program.
Exactly. Once you are selected to be one of the 6, we are going to adapt ourselves so that we can give and guarantee that there will be an opportunity for you to test with us. Of course, we need to put the health and the safety of everyone first.
And as it has been said, both by Philippe Cote and by Alco, plenty of things can be done remotely, right? So if you have any software, for example, you want to test, if you have some data you want to work on, like using artificial intelligence, big data, plenty of things can be done remotely. In the case there is any need for hardware, for example, there was one question in that sense. It would be possible maybe also to think about shipping the hardware to Brazil, install the hardware at Frisia, and maybe try to use it. So this is also a question of for Alco here. So do you think there is any possibility in the case hardware would be required to ship it to Brazil and for Frisia to install this hardware directly at Frisia?
Yes, that's possible. We will create a teamwork here. We can put our IT team working together with the startup. We always will see what is the technology so that we can match some skills inside of Frisia with the team, the international team. So we can do this. If we see that the borders will be closed, it's going to be easier and maybe even cheaper to do this way. We can do it. You ship the technology here, your equipment, and we install, and we can use different kind of tools and technologies so that you can monitor and give us all the necessary inputs so that we can do it properly.
So this would be kind of a virtual soft planning. This is something that we can do also all together with the Federation of Industry, right? Another question right now on intellectual property. So how is Frisia going to deal with intellectual property, non-disclosure agreement, in the case there is any kind of need on that sense with the technology being tested and used at Frisia?
Our goal is to solve the problems of our associates and inside our industries, connecting with startups. We don't have any aspirations of having the ownership of these solutions. So there is no problem for us to sign any NDA with the company. If we think that the solution and we find out that the solution is interesting and it's innovative, we can sign an NDA so that you are safely the owner, and there is no chance of us to sharing this information with any other companies here.
Right. Another question now on the sponsorship of the solution. So once you have selected the solution that are going to be implemented at Frisia, is there any kind of financial support, and what's the amount of this financial support that Frisia will give to the startup in order to implement its solution at Frisia?
This is a very difficult one to answer. First answer is yes, there is financial support. The amount, it will depend on how big the problem you solve, to be honest. Why is that? because we don't have a centralized budget for, let's say I don't have a budget myself for the solution. I asked each different department in Frisia in our industries to save some budget for this purpose, and they have their own budget for their internal problems. So if you come with a solution for the industry, which is let's say our meat processing plants, and the solution is going to solve very big issue there, or it's going to be very innovative, the amount of money and resource we are going to invest is bigger, of course. So it's, to be honest, it's like it's going to depend on the solution and how much of a problem you are solving, or how much of a new opportunity you are creating for us. So we don't have a number here, to be honest.
And just to share some what is the common sense here in Brazil. It's not a rule, but in average, each POC takes 30,000 reais, which means around 6,000 euros. Once again, I'm just sharing what is the average. We have POCs being run with a higher value and even a lower value. So it depends, as Alk mentioned, but just to share an average number that you may be able to have in mind. But in this case with Frisia, we discussed this subject, and they are very clear they are ready to invest once they see the potential of the results.
Exactly. We understand that innovation, there is a risk, and we are going to divide this risk. And of course, it's going to be an evaluation of your company, the solution you have, the problem we have. So it's kind of a negotiation process, case by case.
So there will be a support, but of course it has to be understood in the context, right? What is the technology and what kind of result the technology can offer to Frisia? Another question right now to Felipe Couto. So Felipe Couto, can you explain a little bit what kind of support the soft landing hub of the Federation of Industry may offer in the case of any startup from abroad that will answer to the extra challenges?
Okay, so we have all the first step would be the physical aspect of the receiving you. We have a room, a workspace for you. You can spend here as long as you want, just 1 week, 2 weeks. We are about 150 kilometers from Frisia, and Curitiba is the capital city of Paraná. So the first part of the question is the physical aspect, the workstation, and all the supports in terms of facilities to you to be here in Brazil. Once you want to stay more and spend more time searching for another companies in Brazil, we have this program. It's kind of acceleration program that will help you to connect with other potential clients. So as I mentioned, we represent more than 50,000 industries in Brazil. We have the connections all over the states in Brazil also. So all the companies that came from the other countries found with us a good place to deliver and make these bridges with other clients. So we have a team to support you on doing this kind of job. We have also a lot of information that from Brazilian market that can assist you to access different other markets. So the 3 topics would be physical aspects in terms of working, also a connection program, and the third one is access to data all over from different sectors and different industries from different states all over Brazil.
Right, so this is good support from a soft landing hub, and I would like to add on my side that from ENRICH, of course, we are here also to help whoever needs to go to Brazil, making the right connection, being very pragmatic in allowing you to accelerate your business here in the country. One more question now for Aoki, a question about the phase after the proof of concept. Once that a startup has proven the concept inside of Frisia and the technology is working, what kind of relationship do Frisia want to establish with the startup? Are they going to be a client? Would potentially Frisia invest inside of this startup? What kind of relationship you want to create after the proof of concept?
For sure, we would like to be a client. So we will be open for you to be a supplier. And we are going to make a round of business with you to present you to the two other cooperatives which are part of Union. But if you have something that you would like to co-develop with Frisia, or there is something that some additional business we can do together, maybe you want to create some tailored solution to Brazilian market, it's not a part of our core business, but we are, to be honest, we are looking into it as well. We are open to discuss. It's going to be case by case. Our main goal as with the program is to find suppliers of new solutions. But if we can take and create some innovation for Frisia out of it, of course, this is a bonus, which we are also open to discuss. We have our own startups in Frisia, and in our innovation program, in our roadmap, we would like to also grow into this segment. So I don't know if I answered it.
Okay. And
again, with innovation, it's always a little bit
it will
uncertain.
depend, of course, a bit on the innovation, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It depends on what will come, right? If it is something that will be applied inside of the company, it's one thing. If it is a product for the company, it's another thing. But what is important to listen to here is that you are open to several business models, right? There is no one need of being just a supplier. Maybe you can also draw a partnership, right, with the startup in order to go to market together. I've listened that you are very open to create a business model that makes sense, both for Frisia and for the startup company, right?
Exactly. We can be a support as a client, but also we can help you in your business model and maybe partner with you in some aspects.
Okay, one more question here. If I am a researcher inside of a research center, but I don't have my own startup, I just have the idea, and a research that could be piloted, could be tried into Frisia. Is the challenge also open to me as an inventor, although I don't have a formal company?
We are in our regulation, which, by the way, whenever you make your registration, I will send back for each company the regulation in English. But we are looking into right now at this year into startups which has already a proven MVP. So if you have a study or a research, of course you can send it to us. Maybe I can connect you with ABC Foundation, for example, which is our R&D, and I don't know, maybe we can try to do something with that. But mainly this year we are looking more into ready solutions or something that could be adjusted to us.
So the priority is for startup companies with an MVP, right? But if you have a researcher and you have something, you can just send it. It's not going to be lost, right? You're going to receive it and study how it can be used inside of Frisia, right?
Exactly. Maybe I can forward it to our R&D department in ABC Foundation, for example.
Okay, one more question here. If I have an idea or a MVP or a proof of concept that do not exactly fit inside of one of the team that you have presented, shall I still send it, or do it need really to attend exactly the team that you have mentioned before?
You can send it, of course. As you saw, the criteria, the alignment to the team is important, but it has a weight. It's not like going to exclude you from the process. So please send your MVP to us. We are going to evaluate. And of course, if not this time, if not in this opportunity, you will be in our data bank, and we will know what kind of solution you have. So there's always a chance that in the future we can connect, or in a different stage.
And just a small compliment also. Yeah, the main objects of the challenge, they are very broad and open. So we kind of trying to make explore the solution. So I think, of course, we have some kind of solution to this sector. I think they will be very useful. So please send us. We will spend a lot of time trying to fit on our on previous issues and problems and opportunities. So don't lose this change to send your submission.
Yeah, please remember that we have a whole chain of logistic industry. The agro business with which we are inside is very broad, and we can always forward your idea, your solution inside our company to different departments, and they can evaluate as well, if not in the digital agro connection, in a different opportunity.
So Frisia is very big anyway. The state of Paraná is very big, 10 million inhabitant state. Brazil is very big, 210 million inhabitants, very big country, 4 to 5 million square kilometers. So there will be opportunity if you have good ideas, right? Even if it doesn't fit exactly what has been presented. It would be just a pity not to send it. So please send your ideas. Then afterwards, we'll see how they can be used, right, inside of the challenge, or in a broader perspective. One more question here. You have mentioned several times, Alk, about a overall big picture of what Frisia is doing. You have mentioned that it's just the first year of the challenge. There will be following challenges in the next year. Can you just give us a bigger picture of where Frisia wants to go in terms of open innovation during the next 5 years?
So we want to. We started the program, the innovation program in Frisia, with an event, Digital Agro, which we were doing year by year, and where we presented to our associates innovative solutions. This year we launched the Digital Agro Connection Open Innovation Program. We launched a content website, and also we launched an idea generation platform. What we want to do is to orchestrate on the next years everything, so that the ideas that come from our platform can be connected to startups which already have a technology, and the startups can be presented and can show their technology in our event, in the Digital Agro. We can use our content platform to disseminate this technology, to generate traffic to our events. So in the future, honestly, we want to expand our program. Every year we want to do different rounds of open innovation. We also are working into something which we call Digital Agro Academy, which is going to be let's say, educational part of innovation. So to create this innovation culture, we want to capacitate workers and also associates and also players in the industry to think in an innovative way. And let's say in 5 years also, what we think is to have a kind of a hub of innovation, not only Frisia by itself, but connect the whole region of where we are inserted, and with different cooperatives, and to orchestrate together innovation hub focused in agriculture and focused in cooperatives in Brazil, which are a very big part of the distribution method in Brazil and in the agricultural segment.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to take one last question here, and then afterwards I will give you the floor for your final consideration. If there is any question that has not been answered, of course, it will be answered afterwards. We'll have an email for contact. This will be said in a few minutes. But my last question here, maybe for Philippe Cote, but Alco also can answer. Would it be required for a foreign company, a foreign startup, to establish itself formally in Brazil, create its own local company in Brazil in order to participate to this challenge? Or shall the company remain in Europe and just attend remotely without creating a formal company in Brazil?
No, it's not necessary to be formally open here in Brazil. We discussed it with Frisia. The way to the finance the POC overseas. So it depends if it's just service as a service or it requires to be selling some kind of hardware. But once again, once we get them selected, we will discuss these procedures. So the question is no, it's not necessary to be open here, formally open here in Brazil yet. We expect that someday this will occur, but it's not right now.
Exactly. Totally agree with and totally aligned with Felipe.
So if there is any payment, for example, this will be done overseas as a starting point. And once the company is secure enough, maybe to establish business in Brazil, then of course, maybe if you can say a few words about it, there will be a help for this company if the company wants to settle in Brazil after she's successful in the challenge, right?
We are preparing our legal department to work on this way, to be able to prepare and to sign with you the NDAs in an international way. But also we can just have an international contract. We can have a contract with an international company, and we can organize payments. And we as Frisia, we are exporting already. We are importing a lot, so we know and we have the expertise to do international business already. So it's not a problem for us to have you and your startup as a supplier for us.
Yes, this is very important information here. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, sorry. So, but in terms of the soft lending program from the FIEP, so this is the very beginning of the process to help and assist the company, all the accountability issues and the regulation issues that we can support them. And also related to your previous question, we are discussing with Frisia how to build an innovation hub for Frisia and all other cooperatives that are very close to them. So I just want to share you and this idea and the next steps of this process that we might have be thinking and dreaming about the innovation hub for the agriculture sector here in Brazil that is very, very strong. So I think my final message would be Brazil has a lot of opportunities, especially in agriculture sector. So come to Brazil, let's make business and let's make your startup grow. It is important for us too, because we know once you grow, you will be delivering new technology, new solutions, and help us to produce more and better and cheaper.
Yeah.
I was going to give you the floor for your final words, but these are your final words, right, Philippe? Or do you have anything else you want to add, just as a conclusion?
No, that's it. I know that we need to run, so that's why I take a first step.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so now I'm going to hand over to Auk. Auk, we are going closer to the end of the webinar. It's already 10:54 in Brazil. So please, what are your final considerations, the final words you would like to leave to all our participants?
So I would like to thank first ENRICH and this opportunity and everyone who connected with us. And I would like to say Frisia is a 95 years old company, but we are, let's say, starting in this innovation process and starting with this connection and connecting with startups. Really willing and really open to speed up this and to increase our relationship worldwide. And so if you have some innovative solution, please register with us, send your email to the email I put on my presentation. Together with FIEP, we are going to process all the data and we are going to try to connect you to us, because I believe that it's very important for our organization to have more international contacts and more innovation coming from outside, because from what I've seen, there is a lot going on there, and we need this kind of input here in our market.
All right. Well, thank you again. It's a great pleasure to have you. In the name of ENRICH in Brazil, I would like again to congratulate Frisia for this wonderful initiative, and say that there are, of course, an email, and there is also a website for whoever wants to interact further with the AUK, with Frisia, with Philip Coates. I've put that directly in the chat, right? So there is the digitalagro.com.br where you will find more information on the challenge. And there is one email also, which is aceleradora in Portuguese at sistemafiep, also in Portuguese.org.br. When you can interact further, you can send your question, you can ask for any further information that makes sense. Just remembering also that this webinar has been recorded, so it will be made available on the ENRICH website very soon. So if there is any information you want to go back to, you can see it again, or you can send it to any company that had not the opportunity of participating today, wants to hear about the challenge of Frisia. And of course, the presentation that has been used also will be published on the ENRICH in Brazil website, so you can have access to them and see a little more what is, for example, I don't know, the criteria that are used for Frisia, for example, for selecting the startups. So for ENRICH in Brazil, once again, it's a great pleasure to have you. Auko, Felipe, thank you for your time. Congratulations for the nice job. A few words, ENRICH in Brazil is here to do exactly what we've done today, to bring together Europeans, Brazilians for science, technology, innovation, and business. It has been asked during the webinar, how can we interact in the times of COVID-19? Well, in my opinion, this is the best moment for us to interact, because the kind of challenge that we have right now are global challenge. And the only way to address global challenge is to work together. And this is exactly what ENRICH in Brazil wants to propose, wants to foster. Bring several nationality, bring diversity together, researchers, startups, the investors, so that together we can construct, we can build the future that we really desire. And we know that the COVID-19 is going to pass, right? There will be a moment where a new normal will happen, and we will be back to the big challenges of sustainability, of feeding the people across the world. So we will be back on urgent challenges of sustainability and responsibility that are actually what Frisia is looking for, right? So thank you. I'm receiving a lot of very interesting session. Good luck for the project. Thank you. Thank you to all participants. And see you very soon, right? So stay connected to ENRICH website, also on Twitter, also on Facebook, so that you can have access to further webinars such as this one. All right. Thank you again, and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you.